Hi, this is John Reinert for the VR Group. I just wanted to say, to start things off, thank you so much, Martha Naib. This has been a fantastic course. I really enjoyed all of the lessons that we've learned, and I'm really looking forward a little bit to the future rather than the present at the moment. And this being my last course here at Webster, it was a good course to have. It was very fun and informative. For my section of the VR Group, I will be talking about the future of VR for other designs rather than entertainment. In the past, entertainment is really the only form that we've seen VR take, mainly because I think the ideas of what VR could be was completely rooted in entertainment. It was always supposed to be a functional form of immersing yourself in a virtual universe. It makes sense that it's a little bit oriented around that ideas. But until recently, the Oculus has been making us think of VR differently, as it has so much more power than models have in the past. There's a reason why the VR model Sega created made Sega not a thing. They're really entertaining, but they really didn't meet the goals, the imagery that people have of VR from science fiction, and we're seeing that change every day, especially for the future. Currently, I think that models of VR are great, but the reason why we need them more in the day-to-day for companies and for businesses is not only because of the coronavirus forcing us to stay at home, but because I think the communication from home and from artificial realities is going to take place more. The reason this is going to be necessary to change and to fix is because modern day video conferences just don't hold up. You can see shows like The View trying to do what their day-to-day is, but you also notice the disparity between video conferences and regular conferences. There's about only a 10% communication rate, and you only get 10% of the value from video conferences as you do regular ones, and I think that VR can reduce that disparity. You can see apps like Skype and Zoom are so successful, but more and more people are looking for an alternative, something that'll be more functional. The reason that I think we haven't seen modern day VR be formatted for these businesses not only is because the demand has been lowered, although not today, specifically this year, but because we haven't really had the technology. Oculus is great for entertainment, but you will only get that much power if you have that headset. We could have had something similar to it in the past if it was a little better marketed, and that is Google Glass. Google Glass, besides being hard to say, has the potential to be what VR could have been. The reason we don't see VR being the design for Google Glass is mainly because it wasn't marketed as such. In fact, it was just marketed as connecting to the internet. And I think if it was saying it was your day-to-day VR use, it was meant to be marketed as a VR tool, it may have been more successful. But just because of its design and because of its confusion in its marketing, it didn't manage to succeed. Where companies are succeeding in modern day VR for day-to-day use is at Mojo Vision. Mojo Vision has raised over $159 million in funding for what is truly science fiction VR lenses. Currently, during the time of the coronavirus, they've even had more funding, $51 million of their funding, in fact, to their idea and to their product. It's even FDA approved for use, so very soon we'll see VR lenses on shelves. There's even a functional model that could show you stuff like your sports apps, the weather, connect you to the internet, show your emails. This form of VR is true VR that could be used every day rather than for specifically entertainment. And I wanted to talk about where I think the future of these forms of VR lenses are going to lead us. The upsides, you'll probably be able to never take them out. just like we've seen in the video, despite being a little more dystopian in its ideas, you'll be able to connect to machine. It will be something that you carry in your pocket, like your phone, or when you get home, you'll be able to connect that way. And by doing so, you'll be able to experience VR at any time. You'll even be able to see in the dark. That's something that the models of lenses could possibly be able to do. It'll help with visual impairment. If you have a partial blindness, you could use these VR lenses possibly to cover your existing blind spots, ones that without VR headsets or lenses, you wouldn't be able to see. And I think that's fascinating. I also think that it'll give us that communication necessity that we are missing during this time. And I think the push for this necessity is going to change not only VR as a whole, but the pace at which VR is being designed. Some of the downsides of this technology, it's so versatile in its usage, it's going to give competitive edge to students. If you have VR lenses, you're going to be able to contact people during your tests. You're going to be able to email individuals using your lenses, and they're going to have to find a way around that, just like regular phones. They're going to have to make sure that these lenses can't be hacked. If they are, you could make somebody permanently blind. You could steal all the information that they could see. You could watch what they're watching, and that's a real concern for me. Another thing is, what if these get too hot? What if these have potential to cause permanent damage? They are on your retinas. They're on the very things you use to see, and if these aren't properly created and have models that aren't safe, you could really end up hurting your users. These are, I think, necessary to figure out before these models come out to shipment, but I think they will be on shelves sooner rather than later. And even though VR has always been about entertainment, even though it has proven to be successful in that market, the direction that companies like Mojo Vision are pushing VR and the necessity to communicate in a better way than a Skype conference will be essential for our future. And I think this is what VR truly will be. Thank you so much.